Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. If you hear little feet running around, it's my doggies. You know, they love to be with me. Today's video is going to be a first impressions on the Tarte X Styled by Hrush Eye and Cheek palette that just came out. I think it came out like last month was when it was released. I'm not really sure, but it's going to be a review on this. I'm going to do my makeup with it for the first time. So for foundation, I have been using the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I talked about this on Snapchat and Instagram not too long ago. I was using this quite a bit. A few months ago, and I recently brought it back out just because it's very full coverage. You guys know that I love dewy foundations, I love dewy skin, but when you're having a lot of breakouts, all that dewiness and all that glow tends to make your breakouts stand out more, and it kind of like brings out all the imperfections on your face. So I try to go for more of a matte finish or more of like a natural finish foundation when I'm breaking out really bad, and this one is very full coverage, so it's been doing a great job of covering up everything that's going on my face. For concealer, I use the Tarte Rainforest and the Seas concealer. You guys know I love this concealer. It's my favorite concealer ever. So this is what I used. And to set my concealer, I used my Mercier translucent powder. I have a love-hate relationship with this. Lately, I've been loving it because it does do a good job of mattifying my face. And since I have been breaking out, that more matte look is making my skin look a little bit better than it actually is. So I'm definitely on the love side of this relationship with this powder right now. And then for my brows, I used a combination of the Benefit Brow Pomade, which is the best thing in the world. I have the shade number 4. I used that, and then my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder in the shade Taupe to fill in inside of my eyebrows. I use this to fill in my bald spots, and then I use Taupe to fill in just my regular eyebrows all the way through in between. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab a coffee and let's get started. So really quick, let's talk about the packaging before I start showing you guys swatches. The packaging is so pretty. It comes in this really pretty little, I don't know, black and gold like sleeve type of thing. And then in the back, you've got a picture of Hrush, and she wrote like a whole little thing, which is super cute, just talking about, you know, her journey and why she made the palette the way that she did. So cute little stuff. So when you open it up, what you get inside is this little palette right here. I did show this in my makeup haul video. As you can see, it's like a black kind of like snakeskin leather, and then it's a style by Hrush in gold, and then the rest of the packaging is all gold. And then when you open it up, ooh, the little paper that was inside went flying. When you open it up, it looks like this. So you've got a mirror up top, which I don't want to blind you guys with, and then you've got all these colors on the inside. You've got Bliss, which is kind of like a creamy yellowish shimmery color. It's really pretty and it has really nice pigmentation. Then you have Smitten, which is kind of like a pinky type shimmer color. It's not as shimmery as Bliss, but it's still got a nice shimmer to it. It's more of a sheen than an intense shimmer, if you will. Then we've got Royal, which is this really pretty kind of like burgundy berry, sheeny, shimmery type color. After that, we've got Pinch, which is a matte pinky shade. We've got Kitty, which is kind of like a deep mauve-y matte shade, and then we've got Vamp, which is kind of like a purpley, lavenderish, mauve-y type shade. But it's definitely on the lighter side. It's not as dark as Kitty. Lastly, we've got Cheeky, which is the blush that comes in the palette, and it's just like a really pretty pinky, almost peachy type blush, which I feel like this will be a pretty good blush across the board for a lot of different skin tones. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in and let's get started. So I've already primed my eyes with concealer and set them with some of the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So that is all done, so I'm ready to just start applying eyeshadows onto my lid. So I usually don't like too much of a shimmery brow bone. I like something more that's like a sheen, but there's not really one in this palette that is what I usually go for my brow bone highlight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use a little bit of this color Bliss, just a tiny little bit of this right on my brow bone, and like only right here in the highest point of my eyebrow, my arch, because I don't want it to be too much of a shimmer all the way across my brow bone. I just want to kind of give a nice little lift right there in that area. So right off the bat, just by putting this on, I can tell that this has really nice pigmentation. Like I'm barely using any product, and I'm just kind of like swiping it back and forth here, and I'm getting pretty good color payoff. And I like this has like a really nice yellowish undertone as opposed to a white undertone. A lot of the times shimmers with a white undertone, they can tend to look very like snow almost, and yellow is just a lot more brightening and it's a lot more flattering and not so like harsh like as white can be. So now I'm gonna go into Pinch right here in the palette, which is this kind of like light pink matte shade, and I'm using my Morphe E23 brush, and I'm just gonna put that all through my crease. So initially, what I can say is that this has awesome pigmentation. Like I'm just dipping my brush very lightly into it and putting this right into my crease, and look at how much color payoff I have. It's awesome. The pigmentation is really nice. in the matte shades also, as well as the shimmer shade that I used before. The only thing is that if you can see when I dip into it, I do get like a lot of powderiness on the palette from dipping into it, but I'm not getting a lot of fallout on my face. I mean, I am dipping into it and then tapping off the excess and going in, and I'm not getting any fallout, so that's a good sign. I normally am not a huge fan of Tarte eyeshadows. Like, I have the Tartelette palette and the Tartelette in Bloom palette, and I never gravitate towards either one of those because I just don't really love them. Like, I find the pigmentations not the best, and I don't know, I just never pick them up. Like, there's so many other palettes that I like so much more than the Tarte ones, but because this was in collaboration with Hrush and I'm such a big Hrush fan, I did decide to give this a try, and I gotta say, so far I'm not disappointed. So now I'm just going into a smaller blending brush. I'm using the Morphe M502, and I'm going to go into the color Vamp, which is kind of this like lavendery, kind of more cool toned, like mauve-y light type color. So let's go into Vamp, and I'm just gonna keep this more concentrated inside of my crease as opposed to all over my crease. Ooh, this has great pigmentation. Wow, I didn't think I was gonna like this color because I always gravitate more towards warm toned colors, and this is definitely more of a cool color, but this looks so nice in the crease, and it's giving such nice definition to my eye because it's got kind of like that grayish type tone to it. It kind of creates like a shadowy type effect on the eye, and it's just really working. And I'm also gonna flick it out kind of on the edge because I want to create more of like a cat eye type effect as opposed to a rounded eye effect. It's just what I'm in the mood for today. I don't know what to tell you. You can already see the difference between this eye and this eye, and what I love about this is that it's neutral, but they're not brown. Because don't get me wrong, I love my bronzy browns and my gold and stuff, but I'm so over it lately, guys. I'm like, something other than brown, please. Please, Jesus. So now I'm gonna go back into the brush that I started with, and I'm not picking up any more product. I'm just gonna run it over the edges of this to make sure that it's nice. These two colors are nice and blended. I have to say, I know I already said it, but I'm super impressed with the pigmentation of this palette. The pigmentation is so much better than the Tartelette in Bloom and the Tartelette palettes. Like, I don't know what's going on. This is just, the pigmentation is great in this. And they're blending, I don't know if you're noticing, I am blending all of this together so easily. I'm barely even trying it, it's blending together super nicely. Okay, so now to even further deepen it, I'm going to go into the color Kitty right here, which is like that really deep, kind of purpley, brownish, dark color. It's the darkest color in the palette, and it's a matte color. I'm using my Morphe M518, so I'm gonna go into that color, and I'm just gonna keep this on the outermost edge of the crease and just use that to really define my crease. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm using whatever's left over on the brush to kind of flick it out on the edge. I'm also gonna use this color right up against my lash line to start making a nice smoky effect on the lash line. So I'm taking a little bit on the brush, and I'm literally, from the corner of my eye where I'm flicking it out, I'm connecting it together and rubbing it up against my lash line right here. See that? So it gives a nice like cat eye type effect. Guys, I'm so impressed now. This is so bomb. Like, I like this palette so much more than I thought I was going to, honestly. It is blending so nicely. And obviously, I mean, I'm doing a little bit more of a dramatic look right now, but you could totally use the colors in this palette to do a beautiful daytime look. Which is what I love about this. Like, she says that, and if you read the back of the packaging, it says that she wanted to create something for the everyday woman, like something, you know, that you could just throw in your purse and you could create a great smoky eye or do a beautiful everyday. And I feel like she did a really good job. I look at these colors and initially I was like, this is good for everyday, but this is not going to be good for like a nighttime smoky eye, but this is working very nicely right now. Here's the moment of truth now, guys. A lot of times colors that are like a color, not like a neutral color, but actually like reds or blues, they have a lot of trouble with pigmentation, and a lot of times the formula can be a lot more dry because there's so much of that ingredient that makes it really pigmented. I don't know what it is, I just know that more pigmented colors are usually more on the dry side and they can get a lot of fallout. So we're gonna go into the color Royal right now, which is like this really pretty like purpley, plummy type color. And I'm gonna just pack that in all over my lid. Let's see what happens. Wow. That is really nice pigmentation. A lot better. Oop, you see that fallout though on my face? You see that little dot right there? Let me try to wipe that away. It wiped away pretty easy. You know, I didn't get like a splotch on my face or anything, but this color definitely does have a little bit of fallout, so be careful. Ooh. With this one, look, I got some all the way over here. So definitely tap off your brush with the excess before you start packing this on. A lot of times when you're packing on color straight across your lid, you can get like a really funny line right here from just packing it straight on. So what I like to do is I like to take a fluffier brush that's tapered. This is the Morphe E22. Go into the same color that I'm packing it all over my lid very lightly. I just pick up a tiny little bit of that, tap off the excess, and then I like to go in and kind of just diffuse out that line to help it blend together with everything else a lot more seamlessly and nicely, so you don't stay with that weird harsh line and everything is just blended nicely together. There we go. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So now I'm going with my Morphe M321 and I'm going back into the color Kitty, which is the darkest color in the palette. And I'm just going to start to run that on my lower lash line. I'm going to take it about halfway through my lower lash line. Whoop, you see that fallout right there? Can you guys see that? Sorry, my brush is full of concealer. You see all that gunky fallout right there? Oh, why is this happening? No. I normally always do my eyeshadow first before I do my face, so normally this wouldn't be an issue for me. I just wanted to have my face already done since I was only going to be showing the eyes and like the cheeks and stuff in this video. But I would definitely recommend doing your eyes before your face if you're going to be using this palette because there is a bit of fallout. So now to blend out that lower lash line, I'm going to go into the color Vamp, which is kind of like that grayish, lavendery, light purpley, mauve color. I feel like I'm describing these colors with so many adjectives. I'm sorry, guys. And I'm just gonna go right underneath of that brown to help smoke it out a little bit better so it looks more blended. Next, I'm just gonna go back into the color Royal, and in this little area from my tear duct to where I stopped that dark eyeshadow, I'm just gonna put the color Royal. Yes, I like it. Now I'm just going to go back into the color Pinch, which is that really light pink color that we started with initially. And I'm just going to use that to blend out the edges of the Royal color. So now to highlight the inner corners of my eyes, I'm actually going to try to go in with the color Smitten because that's the only color I haven't used yet. That's like that pinky kind of sheeny type color. But I might have to go in with some Bliss. We're going to find out right now. Ooh. No, I like how this looks. It's like a soft, like baby pinky. Oh my god, wow, this is so pretty. I love this color. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna stick to this for my inner corners. And I love that it's something different than like your typical white or cream color. Okay, so now let's move on to the face and finish up this crazy thing. So now I'm gonna go into blush and I'm gonna use Cheeky from this Tarte palette. I'm gonna get some of that and put it on my cheeks. And I'm really glad that this is a matte blush because as you guys know, I usually like a more luminous blush. But because I've been breaking out, I don't want to bring any more attention to the texture that's all over my face. So a matte blush is going to definitely be more ideal for me right now. Okay, so although this blush is really pretty and I like the color, this is not the best color for me. As you can see, this is really, really, really pink on my face. Like this is a little bit too pinky. I would have needed something with a little bit more of a brown undertone to it. But it's okay. We'll make it work. Yeah, it looks like I have like strawberries on my cheeks right now. Not my favorite blush color, but the formula is nice, it's blending really easy, and it is extremely matte, so. Yeah, so this is definitely not my favorite blush in the world. I'm just using, because of the color, not because of the formula, because of the color. The formula is really nice. I really do like the Tarte blushes. They're really good blushes. This color is just not working for me. So I'm just using a clean stippling brush to kind of try and diffuse this out and blend it a little bit more because I was looking a little crazy. So now to highlight my cheekbones, I'm going to go into the color Smitten, this really pretty like pink sheeny color. Pink highlights have been so in lately, like ever since Anastasia brought out their, what is the glow kit called? The one with all the colors, you know what I'm talking about? Everyone's loving that pink highlight. Ooh. And this looks really pretty as a highlight. When you actually put this on, it doesn't look so pink on your face. It looks more of a like, kind of like honeyish type color. Like it's not so pink on the face. I don't know, maybe it's because the blush is so pink that it's taking away from the pinkiness of the highlight. I don't really know, guys. I'm gonna highlight my nose, my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my forehead. Not much. So now I'm just going to pop on some lashes. I'm going to be using the House of Lashes lashes in the style Bambi. I've really been liking these lately. They're like really wispy and like fluffy, but they're still piecey, so you can see your eyeshadow really good when you wear them. I'm going with the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the color Abu Dhabi for my lips. And now I'm going with a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the color Undressed. I'm just gonna put this right in the center. And this is the finished look, guys. Okay, so all in all, my final thoughts on this palette, I think it's super pigmented. I think the colors are super beautiful. Like I said before, I think that she did an amazing job of making a palette that's very versatile from day to night. You can do a lot of really beautiful daytime looks by just sticking, you know, to the lighter colors. And then this color, Kitty, is a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be like a lot more of a soft brown, if that makes sense, because of my experience with the Tarte eyeshadows in the past. They never have really had too much pigmentation, in my opinion, but these really blew me out of the park. I was not expecting to like this palette as much as I ended up liking it. I was not expecting for the colors to be as pigmented as they were. I was not expecting for the blendability to be all that easy. In my experience with my Tarte and my Tarte Let 'Em Bloom palette in the past, I do find that those colors can give a little bit of trouble blending, and sometimes they can get even a little bit patchy. So I was scared that was going to be the issue with this, but not at all. Everything blended super seamlessly. The only complaint is that there was a little bit of fallout. So I would suggest doing your eyes before your face first to avoid, you know, getting any of that dirtiness in your under eye area or having that dirty look in your under eye from fallout. Unfortunately, the blush is not my favorite blush. I mean, I blended it out and I made it work, but this is not a blush color that I would normally go for. It's just a little bit too pink for me. I like things with a little bit more of a brown tone to them, if that makes sense, or some kind of a brown undertone, just because pink can look really crazy on me since I am pretty olive and yellow. But all in all, I think it's a great palette. I think the packaging is beautiful. I think the color scheme is awesome. I think you can make a lot of different looks using just this one palette. I love how the eyeshadow works as a highlight. I think it looks beautiful, and I love that it's got like that pinky kind of tone to it. So it really does add like a little bit of a healthy glow to your skin since it is pink. I love that it's so small and compact that you can just throw it in your purse. It's awesome for traveling because it's so small, and like I said before, it's a great color scheme. I love that she did neutrals that aren't brown. I'm so over brown lately. I know it's so weird and it's so crazy, but I feel like every time we go to dry makeup, we reach for browns and coppers and bronzy colors. And don't get me wrong, I love a nice warm eye. Like, I always gravitate towards warm brown colors, but it's so nice to see something that's neutral, that's not brown, you know what I mean, and that you can use for day and for night. I also think that Bliss, this white like creamy shiny color, I feel like that will work as an awesome highlight also. I just wanted to go more for a pinky highlight since I just loved that color so much. The color Smitten, I think that color is beautiful. I love it. So I wanted to use that as my highlight as opposed to Bliss. But if you're more into like a yellow gold highlight, Bliss would definitely like be awesome. And I think that's it, guys. I don't think I have anything else left to say about this palette. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you're planning on buying the Styled by Hrush and Tarte palette, please comment below and let me know. Or if you already have it, please comment below and let me know what your thoughts on it are, because maybe we have the same thoughts. You never know. If you guys have not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.